So, hey GW2 community, with the final content update for GW2 Genther World is now live. We officially wrapped up our 5th expansion, which is the second build under the annual release model we've introduced early 2023. We tested how we tell stories, evolve systems, deliver meaningful updates on a faster, more consistent schedule. Some things landed well, others not so much. So I think this is true. I think like the convergences landed relatively well. I think like they've been pretty like busy, pretty like I pretty much always see them like happening. Like whenever they are, like they're on a bit of an awkward schedule, but like people do convergences like a lot. Trying to think what else we got. Like we got the raid wing 8. The normal modes do get done fairly. I don't really see them much on the LFG compared to the other wings. The CMs, oof, they're a bit rougher. I don't think there's as many people doing them. I think the LCM's good. Probably needs a tiny tuning, but I'm excited to go and do that. So I don't mind that it's hard. It's something to work towards for a fucking degenerate like me. So. Pog Cham. Just like we did off scores to Secrets of the Obscure, we're listening to your feedback and acting on it. In this blog, we share how these lessons are shaping our next expansion and the changes you can expect to see. To give you a hopeful context as we unveil our next expansion next week. Okay. So next week, they're like 100% revealing it. So like, they're going to be showing us what they're doing and oh yeah, that's good. I'm hoping that they do show a bit more than what they did previously. Their releases haven't had the best track record, but I would be lying if I wasn't saying I'm excited, right? It's a bit of a spoiler, but we know elite specs 100%. Like I am like 95% sure they have elite specs. If they don't, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a fucking riot, dude. And I'll just go play fucking WoW like everyone else. No, I'm joking. I probably won't. Fuck that game. Over the past 9 months, GW2 Genther Worlds brought a wide view of new experiences to Tyria. Across 19 story chapters and 4 new open world maps, the narrative explored the aftermath of the Elder Dragon era through a more grounded and political lens. Would I say this? I feel like it has been more grounded at Icebrood Saga Champions. And then everything from there onwards has felt like a fever dream. It does not feel political or grounded. Even with the boring like fucking meetings that we had at the start of Genther Wilds, which is a horrible way to start the story. I remember watching Soda Popping do it. I'm pretty sure he was sponsored and he just like straight up quit, which was huge loss for us. They fucked up there big time. But other than that, it's pretty good. Your choices help shape the balance of the power and the world, and leaning to live without the existential threats and uncover ancient secrets best left buried. I guess. We always got the existential threat, but I feel like if you overplay it, then nothing is an existential threat. You know what I mean? As you brought spears to land combat, our first new terrestrial weapon type since the game's launch, along with a new set of relics that deepen the build crafting and expanded playstyle customization. Yep, this was kind of true. They added some new ones. PogChamp, mainly Bloodstone was the only one that like really stands out to me, and Steam Shriekers was also pretty big standout. I think they do need to add a little bit, like make it more visible when your stuff is like popping off, like add like a new tab. Like when you got too many buffs, it's a bit much, but it's pretty good. Our endgame offerings grew as well. We took the game's first new raid in over 5 years, completed with a challenge mode and legendary modes. This is a typo. We have 1 legendary mode, not multiple. This is a bit misleading, but we'll forget about that. I guess that kind of reads correct. I don't like the way that's phrased because it seems like there's multiple legendary modes where there's only one, but It can be interpreted two ways. We also introduced a new convergence encounter and a fractal dungeon with its own challenge mode, adding more variety and goals for PvE focused players. So I did actually like the new fractal. I'm still not a huge... It means Soto probably. No, they're specifically talking about the raid here. Like, this is like in the same sentence, separated by a comma. This is expanding on the previous part of the sentence. This is clearly talking about the raid. But the convergence encounters were kind of good. A bit frustrating. I do have some small gripes with the convergences currently, especially in challenge mode. So if you start challenge mode, you have a leecher, you kick them out, and a new person comes in. That new person will forever be a wisp, which sucks. It really de-incentivizes you to get rid of people that are just leeching. And even getting people to fill that, like, because those last 10 slots, like, aren't that important, like, I guess, unless you're, like, going for gold. But, like, it is a bit of an annoying thing that I wish they would fix in case, you know, you lose someone to ping issues or something like that. They have to go. Emergencies come up, you can always fill. But other than that, I do like even the fractal was pretty good. I did like Kinful. I'm not a huge fan of how it's ended up being played, which is kind of like you don't CC it and you just treat it like a DPS golem, and then you try to CC it just before it goes to the next CC breakpoint, so that you try to keep it a golem as long as possible. Kind of a bit cringe, but at least it doesn't have as much health as Kanoxai, so I forgive it. Goes to Jantha, your wilds also marked the arrival of homesteads, a major feature that brought player housing to the game. That was paired with a rework of the decoration system, updates to the Warclaw mounts, 2 new legendaries, tons new armor and weapon sets, Wizard's Vault refreshes, and a long list of quality of life upgrades. So they didn't introduce a lot, actually. Pretty good. Housing system. I know a lot of people are actually degens into it. It's cool. It's cute. People like it. I think they just need to have like a rating system where you can go into random houses, give them ratings, add competitive leaderboards for it, you know, like most liked by the community, stuff like that. Give like a title, you know, like My Hearth is Your Home, or like some cute title. It'd be so good. New updates to the Warclaw mount. I actually really do like the Warclaw mount. It does feel a bit janky. There is some uses to the Warclaw mount where it actually feels better if you have 0 masteries on it. Like if you have 0 masteries and you double tap the spacebar, you actually like launch up ultra high. And it doesn't use extra energy like it would if you did have full masteries on it. World v World didn't get touched. Is what it is. Kind of cringe. The 2 new legendaries, the backpack, really cool, really fucking cool. The spear, it is the best legendary weapon they've made, hands down. None of them even compete with how fucking cool it looks. Dude, I fucking love the spear. It looks so cool. The fact that it's got changing forms, like the legendary greatsword from season 2, like Gen 2 one, actually insane. It looks so good. Like the spear is just like, dude, I'm so glad I have it. It looks amazing. Like the fact that every single time you use a different attack, the tip of the spear changes is just chef's kiss, dude. Actual art, whoever designed that weapon should get a fucking raise, dude. They did a great job. The new weapon sets, insane. The new, like, they could look like chaos weapons but better. Like, I love them. I actually want to grind them. I probably should. I just don't have the time some of the time. But I'll probably like work on it over time in the background, you know, while we're talking shit, you know, waiting for raids to fill. You know, I'll probably get them over time. I won't rush them. Quality of life upgrades. this is the blog post, Opsy. So they released the blog post today of what comes next. I will actually link it in case you guys want to check it out yourself. Let me do that. And yeah, anyway, back to it. The quality of life upgrades were great. The changes to the portal scroll, making them consolidated, are fucking amazing. I love it. So much better. Saves a lot of people multiple loading screens going from strikes to Arborstone, from Arborstone to Wizard's Tower. They can just go straight from the strike they're in all the way to Wizard's Tower. They're good to go. It's good. I think some issues with it that I currently have is some of the teleport, like the Holbracht tome is just way too expensive. Pretty much every single main town tome is way too expensive. Everyone's fucking gambling for it with the new like the gifts of Halloween and that. It's not. They need to adjust it, like increase the percentage chance of getting it, or have like a guaranteed way of getting it, or actually take away the cost of leather and replace the cost of leather with silk. Because for some reason, I don't know why they keep doing this, but silk is the only thing in this game that there is nothing to do with. It is such a pain point. They've made a sink for mithril. They made a sink for leather. They've made a sink for wood. They've made a sink for everything but silk. I don't know why. The only sink we have for silk is every Festival of the Four Winds, and if you upgraded your silk, well, tough love, you know, like now you can't turn it in. But besides that, the quality of life upgrades have been good. In PvP, we built something new with your help. The push game mode begun as a prototype and evolved through multiple public betas. Shaped by player feedback, co-developed a competitive game mode in live environments is rare, and we're proud of what it represents. The final version launches later this summer, and we hope it sets a precedent for future community-driven efforts, whatever. Push is a lot of fun. I'm gonna love push. I hope that they add a separate ranks for it and don't make it like, oh yeah, it's seasonal, you know, we're gonna have ranked every now and again. I guess the PvP community is kind of small, so it's probably better if they do it that way. I am 100% gonna play more push when it's back around. I do hope they add a bit more to it, make it a bit better. It is a good meme. It's kind of great. I do enjoy it. 5v5 all the time. Yeah, it's like, honestly, if you just take half of like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch, you take like half of the game modes and you just rip them into the game, they're going to be loads of fun. I think they do need to work on their battle royale versions of PvP game modes. I think it would be good for them to have and include. Maybe just liven it up a bit. They do have it. It's just not really paid that much. It's the ARAM of PvP, okay? Oh my god. I'm glad that word is disappeared. I had to get rid of it. I had to make sure it was gone. GW2 Jantier Wilds developed a lot in a short amount of time. That momentum was only possible because of your passion, creativity, and honest feedback. Finding the right rhythm. GW2 Jantier Wilds launched in August of last year, followed by 3 quarterly updates. After the first of those updates arrived in November 2024, we heard consistent feedback from the community. The additional story content fell too short, and the lack of new open world map made the update feel noticeably light. Similar reactions to the story scope followed the second and third releases, signaling that the pacing and structure of these releases could better align with your expectations. So I can agree with this. I definitely think the story, it just felt hollow. I don't know if that's just like a feeling I get, but it's like when I think of the story, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've played through the entire story. The only memorable stories for me is Path of Fire. Path of Fire was very memorable, okay? End of Dragons was also memorable. I think Anka was a great villain. You know, like she was just an edgelord. It was kind of cool, kind of cute. She just wanted to end everything, you know, but she didn't want to do it alone. She didn't want to be alone, and it was a nice like idea. Like probably could have been expanded upon better. There's some fluff to it that was like not necessary. Like the Heavy Mitron tried to like make amends for the wrongdoings was a nice touch. But overall, I think End of Dragons was a decent story. Champions had the potential to be their best yet with the chill that Jormag brought. Crazy. Crazy good storytelling. In the first half. The second half was just, I understand they were rushed. It was what it was. We don't talk about the second half of Champions. I wish we lost Bram and not Ryland, but no voice really does impact the story a lot. There's two issues I had with the last two expansions. One was the way they told the story. So I hate having instances where we do nothing and just read them talking for like 2 hours. So boring, okay? Just ain't it. I think having some cinematics and impactful moments is very important. A good example of this was in Soto. When you went into the Cryptus lair, there was actually a room where they had collected all the Cryptus essence, which is basically like the Cryptus' dead bodies, and they'd chained them up. And they were like, oh my god, it was like there's thousands of them there behind this room. And then it was like meant to be like this horrific scene. That should have been a cutscene. That shouldn't have just been like, oh, it should be horrible. And you go in this room and it's just like an empty room with just like essence covering the walls and floors, is basically blood. And it was just like, you had a moment to be like, have something like, have you ever seen Into the Abyss? Is it Into the Abyss? The anime? Made in Abyss, Made in Abyss, Made in Abyss, yes, Made in Abyss. Yeah. Where it's like, there's like, you've got to have like that dark part of it, right? Like if you want to have one of those scenes, you got to have it. I'm not saying you have to have it be graphic, but like have something grim in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It lost all its impact. It was kind of meh. But yeah. I think they fell short on that. And then we had the voice actor thing, which, you know, everyone has their own feelings on it. Despite what people think, it was not for AI protections in Guild Wars 2. It was not for AI protections in any game. Okay. Hey, I'm not a voice actor. Don't take my word for it. Go and look into it on your own. But at the end of the day, it was just like an agency for them busy taking advantage of their monopoly on the market, trying to basically force everyone to like sign a contract with them. That would basically mean, you know, someone wasn't an American voice actor, they would get fucked. Okay. But regardless, my opinion at the time, at the start, was like, hey, yeah, I was all for AI protections. And then I found out more about it, and my honest opinion was, after the amount of time that was wasted and how much of the product was ruined, I was happy if it didn't end, for them to just straight up replace the people. Might be a hot take, but yeah, like at the end of the day, it wasn't for the reasons that they said that people were supporting them for. They threw that in there for some other shit. Like pretty much like politics. It's like, oh yeah, bro, like we want this in our bill, but then we're gonna like include all this other unnecessary shit to like, you know, try to slide it under. The VAs kind of didn't have much of a choice. Yeah, but the problem is, there's like two problems with it, right? By like, have you ever heard of lying by omission, right? This is my feeling with it, right? Lying by omission is like by saying nothing, right? When there's already like a lie out there, right? You basically perpetuate that lie, which is what I feel those voice actors were doing. Honestly, if you want to know the truth, right? I don't think keeping silent was the right thing. I understand they were in a tough position. I feel sorry for them. Like, it sucks. It's pretty shit. But at the same time, they're fucking over other people in their field that aren't in the union by doing this. So, when their decision impacts other people, then I do kind of care. But it's beyond the point. Yeah, and USA isn't the only English speakers, right? Like, I don't even think I could join a US union if, say, for example, if I was a voice actor, which I'm not, right? Like, yeah. And that being said, I don't even know if Guild Wars 2 was one of the games that was specifically affected by the union, right? So Genshin Impact wasn't specifically named in the boycott for the union, but voice actors still didn't take part, like took part in it anyway, right? So these are people that technically weren't forced to, but did anyway. So I was kind of like, ooh. But it's just because they didn't want public backlash, and ANET is kind of like very soft-handed. They don't want to like rock the boat too much. They're too scared to have like a tough stance on anything. So yeah, it is what it is. I understand. For our next union is Giga fixated on Genshin Hoyo games. Yeah, which they're never getting a monopoly on. Like, there's too many international voice actors that would be affected by it. Like, it's just not reasonable. Yeah, which won't happen. Because it would fuck over every person that doesn't. I actually encourage you, if you haven't looked into it, Cedars, there's a great video, I think it was by Mujin, that went over like the entire thing. I believe, who was it that sent it to me? It was Viano sent it to me. Great watch. I would highly recommend watching it. It like fills in like the gap of like the understanding what like how they function and all the rest. You looked at it a little bit? Yeah, it was like an hour-long video. It's fucking long, but it was very good. Very good. I loved it. Anyway, I'm getting way too tangented, like on a sidetrack. I need jingle jangle, dude. For next expansion, we're refining that structure to give each update more depth and impact. The first quarterly release of the expansion's launch will not include new story or map content. Instead, it will focus on updates to core systems and long-standing features. The first quarterly release... Wait, what? So we're getting... In the first expansion portion, we're getting no story. Yeah, but... Think about it this way, Kuma. We're pre-ordering at this point. It's oof. This is a mistake. Oh, this is a mistake. Because people don't know what they're buying. I'm not a huge fan of this. Like, I know what you're saying. Wait. Oh, you're saying so we're still getting some story, but then instead of getting it in 4 updates, we're getting it in 3 updates following that. Okay, sorry, I misread. Misunderstood. I'm gonna assume that's what it's. So we will get the story, elite specs, and then a 6-month dry spell where they're just hot fixing stuff, basically. And then they'll add the map and that. Oof, 6 months is a long time, bro. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. Mixed feelings. Like, depending on how it's executed, it could be good, it could be bad. But I'm not sure. Instead, it will focus on updates to core systems and long-standing features. This approach gives us the space to revisit fundamental elements of the game. Improvements that support the long-term health of Guild Wars 2 reflect the design philosophy for building smarter, not bigger section below. So, I'm going to tell you what this looks like to me. To me, this looks like they have a lot of technical debt. And I think they're now hitting a critical mass where they can't ignore it anymore. That's what this sentence in corporate talk, this is what I'm hearing. Okay? We have so much sorry. I mean, people know what technical debt is. Technical debt is basically if you code something in a rush, okay? And you just do it to get something done, you can do it fast. But the problem is when you add on to that and you don't build it properly, you have to go back at some point and fix what was broken previously. So you got to fix what wasn't done properly. And I think that's the issue that they've run into. I think the game was originally had some technical debt, which mean they've always had to do this. They've kind of put it off for a long time. And as they've added more stuff to the game, they've broken more stuff. A good example of this was convergences. You guys love convergences? Convergence CMs came out. Guess what it broke? Aerell CM. Or a CM. The convergence CM should not affect either of those two things. I don't know why it does. I don't know why they use the same spawns or anything for them. They should just be separate entities inside the game storage base or like a separate version of the same entity. Yeah. There's just some issues there with the code base that they didn't, that where it clearly shows when they like update one thing, it breaks another thing. It's clearly just the technical debt of like what they've created. It's good to see that they're spending time on that. I think if they are to keep the game playing well in the future, they have to focus on that, especially with performance and optimization. Because I'll be honest with you, this shit's laggy for a lot of people, bro. And you kind of want to make it so that it's fun to play for as many people as possible. By focusing on story and map development, the second and third quarter updates, we're able to make these releases more robust and satisfying. Each will introduce a larger, more content-rich map and a larger, more fully developed story than what players saw in the equivalent Guild Wars 2 Janther Wilds update. I mean, the fact that you see medium character model to see mechanics and 50 matters. Yeah, the fact that you can only see like 10. As a freshly returning player, they need to get the rely more on GPUs and CPUs. It's crazy. Even if you've got like an insane CPU, you still struggle. It doesn't utilize multiple cores well, and there's a few other optimization things. Which sucks because the combat in this game is better than any MMO. Hands down. So as for more complete and satisfying story arcs, and it results in a net increase in total content delivered over the course of the expansion. Okay, so by focusing more on the technical debt, they are able to put out more by fixing it, rather than trying to do both simultaneously. Because it's hard to add stuff and fix stuff, whereas it's better to just fix stuff, then add stuff. It's good. Building smarter, not bigger. One of our biggest priorities right now, and likely for years to come, is untangling years of accumulated system complexity. Is this just their way of saying technical debt? Great. That means streamlining overlapping features, like reducing... Oh, let's go, dude. I knew where they were going. Dude, pre-read. 100% pre-read, dude. Holy fuck. I'm a genius, dude. Definitely pre-read, 100%. Reducing technical, yep. You see. They knew what they needed to do if they wanted to keep making this work. Okay. And reinforcing what makes Guild Wars 2 shine. I like to see this. I'm happy to see this. This is probably my favorite part about the thing, is that they're fixing this, okay? Because by fixing this, they're gonna make it a lot better to add stuff, fix stuff, do other stuff. It's great. Great for the overall longevity of the game. It also makes onboarding harder for new and returning players, even in areas designed for season adventures like endgame PvE. No, I do not think that the technical debt or streamlining overlapping features is the reason why it's harder for people to onboard as newer returning players into endgame PvE. I think the reason for the issues with endgame PvE not being friendly to new people is the lack of incentive to teach new people outside of Wing 8, which has an achievement for getting as many new people their first kill as possible, which results in people just, I don't know, getting people the clears. Like it just does. Like whether you want to admit it or not, even just the fact that it doesn't give 0 AP, 0 extra reward, but people still do it because, well, yeah. I blame LFG having to use an external crap to put together a build / gear. No, I would not blame LFG. LFG is a compounding factor on this, but it's not the causal factor. The causal factor, whether you want to admit it or not, is that there is no reward incentive from an experienced player's perspective to teach a new player to do raids. There just isn't. Most people will, they're pretty friendly to it, but you need to add more incentive to make it better for people to want to teach new people. A similar party finding system would make it much easier for newer folk to get into the content instead of joining an LG post with no clue what they need to have or end up getting... Yeah, I could see that. Unless I watch a video on how an elite spec works and we'll get how it works for half of them. Yeah, you won't even get raid bosses how half of them work unless someone, like you watch a 5-minute video, you know, like a get to the point guide or something on how it functions, right? Or unless you like joining comms and like have the person teach you. Like, it's just the way it is. Over the past 2 expansions, we've shifted away from stacking new systems on top of old ones. Instead, we're focusing on sustainable upgrades to the game's foundation. Like the Wizard's Vault didn't just offer something new, they replaced all daily achievements and login rewards with a streamlined, modern alternative. Weapon Master training and relics were built to expand existing build system, homesteads and decorating systems. Overhaul also improved guild halls. This is true. The Weapon Master training was good because it dragged weapons away from their elite specs, so it made it so that builds that could not function or exist before could now exist properly. An example of this was before we had Spear, Shortbow was not available on Herald, making Condi Herald kind of bad because he would just be, well, Mace Axe and another Axe. It's kind of trash. But yeah, nope, they've done pretty good with this. You know, it does kind of end up being, oh, whatever weapon works best for that build, which kind of feels sad because it makes it like not really worth adding new ones unless they do something functionally better or different than the old one, but it is what it is. You think they should add new weapons to Handed Axe? Currently, I am actually more in favor of them adding new elite specs as opposed to adding new weapons. Currently, there's plenty of weapon variety at the moment. Yeah, and there's 2-handed axes, skins for hammers. I think we're more likely to see what happens similar to with the spear, where they just take harpoon guns or tridents and they make them land weapons. I think that is more likely to happen. Yeah, like you could say gloves were kind of missing. Like rapiers are kind of like one-handed swords. I wouldn't really call that a weapon choice. Like we got focuses, like yeah, like I don't think we're gonna be getting those. Support for newly introduced features doesn't end at launch. Since the Homestead feature debuted, we've continued to expand and refine the system with new decorations and quality of life improvements, including an increase to the overall decoration cap in the final GW2 Chanter Wilds release, Absolution. In our upcoming July 15th release, we're doubling the decoration area limit from 200 to 400. This directly addresses one of the most common requests we have heard from you. You can also expect to see continued support for the homestead features in our next expansion as we build on this foundation. Nice. These kinds of changes may not always grab headlines, but they make the game easier to understand, easier to maintain, and more enjoyable to play. Just as importantly, they reflect what many of you have asked us to do: focus less on introducing entirely new systems and more on refining and modernizing what we already have. That's a direction we believe in, and one we're proud to continue as we build the next chapter. New tricks for every trade. Over the past 2 expansions, we've expanded options for combat by giving you more tools to customize your builds and play your way. GW2 Secrets of the Obscure introduced new weapon proficiencies for every profession and separated relics from runes to deepen build crafting. The addition of the Weapon Master training has also a major step forward in allowing players to freely mix and match elite specialization weapons across builds. And the addition of the land spears offered a new weapon for every profession to use. Yeah, I don't really have much to add there. The spear edition was really good. I think I liked majority of the spears. They felt different. They felt unique. Felt fun to play. With our next expansion, we're taking the next step: elite specializations. Hell yes, dude. I said that this was what they needed to do, and I'm glad I did. It was a great choice. Now to hear people mold over like who's getting what, okay? And I've seen a picture, okay? And I'll give you guys my opinion when we get to it, but I know I'm fairly certain of what we're getting for 2 classes, okay? Fairly certain. Okay. With our next expansion, we're taking the next step, blah, blah, blah. This time, designed to work together with the flexible build crafting system we've been refining over the past few years. However, this new specializations won't come with dedicated weapons. What did I say? I said that they were going to do the specs without weapons, okay? And what was I told? No, you're crazy. It's not going to happen, okay? I said it was too much work to do on an annual basis, and I was right. Much better to do it this way. Alternate between the 2 of them. 1 year weapon, 1 year spec. Boom. Good system. Great system. Can't complain. Okay. Instead, each one introduces unique professional mechanics, a new trait line, unique utility skills, and an elite skill, a healing skill, and a distinctive playstyle without locking you into a specific weapon or equipment loadout. We just wanted both. Look, I know what you wanted, Lel, but you're wrong. These new specializations are designed to feel fresh, fun, and unique, while building on the system you already know and love. We'll have much more to share soon. Challenging the challengers. The launch of Mount Belriah Raid wasn't just a development milestone for us with both legendary and challenge modes. It was a long awaited return for players eager to take on high-end group content. It marked a turning point in our overall efforts to revitalize endgame PvE. Over the past few years, we focused on developing meaningful, replayable encounters across both raids and strike missions. Most recently, we returned to our encounter design roots with Kinfall, a new fractal design in direct response to player feedback. With Kin 4, we step back from the raid-like complexity of recent fractals and focus instead on creating a streamlined, repeatable experience that captures the feel of early favorites. The challenge mode arrived a few weeks later, offering both accessibility and satisfying difficulty. I think they will continue to do LCMs, Kuma, so we're probably going to be seeing that soon. Okay, it's going to be good. Looking ahead, we'll continue to expand endgame content, including new encounters, complete with challenge mode and legendary modes. But just as important as adding more is making that content better, more approachable, and more rewarding to return to. In the first quarterly release of our next expansion, that means unifying raids and strike missions into a more consistent structure, improving onboarding for new players, reworking parts of the UI, streamlining rewards, and investing in a system that help group content feel easier to step into and more meaningful to stick with. They are fixing LFG. That is what that means to me, okay? When you use words like this, okay, they better not be cock teasing me right now. Okay, I'll be mad, okay? This means they are fixing LFG, dude. That is fucking mad. You know what? I'll be right back. Okay? Sorry. I didn't think I was properly prepared for this, okay? So hear me out, okay? They're fixing LFG 100%, okay? Not even like a little bit, okay? They're fixing it, okay? They are definitely fixing it. That's what that reads to me, okay? Okay, they're doing it. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, when you put stuff like you want to make it like more accessible, like reworking parts of the UI, streamline. Okay, the streamlining rewards, it's kind of good. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Okay, that's talk I don't really care about. But the other stuff, that looks like fixing LFG to me. Okay, that's what I read when I see that. Okay. Now, I'm not crazy. Okay, I believe it to be true. Okay, just stick with me. Okay, I can get you guys a hat like this. The new LFG is just a link to dude. We gotta see Discord in the LFG UI. Oh my god, bro, we're gonna see each other's icons. It's gonna be great, dude. Just merge mag shots and profit shots. No, because they're probably gonna merge them and not increase the cap. I hope they do add daily raids. That would be, dude. They add that, I'm gonna be a happy man, dude. I'm gonna be the happiest man. Okay. On this planet. Okay. Where was I? We want Killers to Endgame to be something anyone can grow into, whether joining your first organized group or aiming to master every challenge we throw your way. So this is two things. It probably means people are going to be able to see what roles are, which is going to be great for PvE to more streamline new players into like finding out what role compositions generally look like. Which is great. I'm happy with that. Even if we just get like heal alack, quick DPS, you know, we get that. That's fine. What does it look like? Okay, so we are in July, so we're going to get the announcement of the expansion. Return to Soto event, World v World Rush, bonus event. Okay. Mark it down the calendars. If I am not on, because I'm taking a week off at the end of the year, if I'm around, we will do a NAR World v World Rush, okay? The big grind, dude, is going to be good, okay? We're going to be known. Looking forward to it. It's going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, we're here. What comes next? Ooh, don't want to look at that. That's what I got this hat on for, okay? It's for the next part. Yours to gender as well helped us learn where to push harder, where to simplify, and how to better listen to the needs of our players. Your feedback didn't just resonate with us, it reshapes how we're thinking about the game and how we're building what's coming next. Mark your calendar. You'll get your first look at the next expansion on July 15th. Thanks for your passion, your support, your belief in this world, and in the people who bring it to life. Josh Davis, game director. You know what? This was a really good blog post. This hat isn't helping me, is it? It's really not, bro. It's just scrambling my own thoughts more. Broadcast? True, dude. A really nice brog roast for dinner, dude. Whenever you bro so hard, you brog. We're broadcasts. We're on. I almost just said like Twitch, but with a B. That was not going to sound great. I'm glad I have some foresight. All right. Enough memes, okay? This is what we came here for, okay? Let me just. Bewitch. Bewitch.tv, dude. Yeah, that's right. All right. So. This is huge, okay? You know why this is huge? So, I have some things to share, okay? Okay, you guys probably would have seen where I'm sitting with what these two are. If you were in my Discord, you would know where I'm sitting, okay? But basically, okay? This one, okay? This one right here, okay? Yes, that one is Warrior. 100%. Anyone that tells you it's not is coping, okay? It's Warrior, okay? So, this looks like Paragon from Guild Wars 1. Could be. Kind of cool. It's holding a spear. Pog champ, okay? Looks badass as fuck. I'm down with it, dude. Okay? But it's Warrior. 100% Warrior. The reason I say that is because of the character that they've got there. So, something you might not realize, every elite spec, since like the game's inception of elite specs, okay, has utilized the same model for the classes, okay? So, yellow is currently... The color also gives it away, but the only other thing close enough to this in color is engineer. But the reason you say it's not an engineer is because every single engineer elite spec has a char in the icon, okay? The char is like the engineer preview. Always has been, always will, okay? The warrior is a human male, okay? So, I open this link. There you go. Blade Swan. Okay. Then we go to the next one. Boom. Spellbreaker. You know? That's not a Norn. Norns are built like bricks, dude. The Norn men don't have that V shape. You know what I mean? The human men do. That's just bulky. This goes the bulky armor. Okay. The Elonian armor is kind of bulky on the sides. Okay. Big Norn feet, bro. Hey, Norn, that's human male, bro. Let's be real. You may be able to say it is, but I would say it's the warrior. Okay. Paragon warrior. I'm excited. I'm not really a warrior player, but I'm a level with you. This class looks badass as fuck, okay? The Asuran Thief? No, the Asura's Necro. The color gives it away. And also, if you look at all the previous elite specs for Necro, they're all rats. Okay? And we're not talking about the Tarkov rats, okay? So there you go. We've got, look at that. Harbinger, Scourge, Reaper. They're all Asuras. Every single one of them is Asura. Like, it's... Now, there's this one guy that might be saying to you, nah, bro, listen. I know it's green, but it's gotta be Ranger, okay? Because Ritualist, that's like basically nature, okay? They're gonna hit you with that cope, okay? But there's one major flaw with this argument, okay? Now, I need to pull this up for you, but what is the icon for the Ranger for its elite specializations? Because, you know, from memory, I don't think it's an Asura, okay? Now, if I had to think what it is, okay? Oh, yeah, it's a salad. Oh, okay. Well, now we know it's not a Ranger. So, boom. Boom. It's Necro Ritualist, okay? Now, the question for this is going to be pretty simple, but Necros already have minions. So what are the Ritualists going to be classified as? Now, personally, I think they might be similar to the Renegade, where it's like their spirits you place down and they like stay in an area. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about the Canthan enemies that are Ritualists, I don't think any of the spirits can move. Right? They're kind of like static, stationary in a spot, kind of like an AoE. So they might be making a new thing, which is going to be kind of cool. I like the idea. Honestly, for the Paragon, I didn't really play Guild Wars 1. I'm a level with you. Maybe that's going to be our 6-month journey, okay? Till the X-Pack comes out, we're going to play Guild Wars 1 so we can figure out what the hell a Paragon is, okay? Because to me, this just looks like, you know, we're going to be doing like some superhero landings. We're basically going to be role-playing Vindicator, okay? We're going to be like flying in, you know? I think it's the closest to Magic Warriors ever going to get. It's kind of cool. Kind of base, dude. Like, this here aesthetically, dude, is like so cool. So fucking cool. Okay? Like the fucking wings, dude. Oh my god, the holy energy, dude. It's kind of it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. Okay. The art team did a great job on this one. I am happy with it. Okay. I think that was it. Now, there was a few other things I was meant to go over. So, well, I am here. I'm just going to take a guess. And I'm going to say that the icons that we have had teased to us from their Twitter, okay, spot I didn't really plan out that well. Okay. Well, that's kind of awkward. Whatever. So I think, so yeah, just specs, yeah. Open image, there we go. So, the Bard. You guys want my guess on what this is gonna be? It's a Mesmer, bro. Like, you got Virtuoso. Yeah, I think everyone is kind of like in the boat of like Bard, a Mesmer. I can't think of another one that it might suit. Like maybe Ellie if you're like really stretching. It's okay. We're just gonna. No, I will tell you why it's potentially not Thief. No, but all of them have this color scheme. So this color scheme is most likely new, like. Let me. Okay, we're likely not going to be going in order. But this next one, I think this is probably the Ritualist. I feel like it potentially might be. It kind of reminds me of the Ritualist eyeball. But it might not be. I think this is Ritualist. Nah, 100% not Ritualist. You could be right. You could be right. I could be swung either way on it. Honestly, I could go either way. Very not Rit? Okay. Okay. Regardless, we do have this one here. 100% the Paragon. I don't think anyone's debating whether or not this is the Paragon. Maybe they use a different icon for it. I'm pretty confident this is Paragon, okay? Like you look at it, bro. It's basically got the wings and everything. It's basically Paragon at this point. So I think Warrior and Mesmer are pretty much locked in. The Necro is also locked in. But before we forget, okay? So this spec here, okay? Now hear me out, okay? It might be a hint to what the... Nah, I know I got the hat on, okay? I understand. You're thinking, nah, not Ritualist, okay? But hear me out. Tell me if you see it. Okay? Do you see it? It is the same thing, bro. Tidespod Elite Spec 100%. 100%, dude. And you know what this means? It means that the LE players are finally going to get what they want, okay? A clean rotation, okay? The rotation is going to be the cleanest out of any of the specs, okay? 100% clean, okay? The cleanest of rotations, okay? A clean transition between elements, dude, it's all going to be clean, okay? Even the floor, when you go down, is going to be clean, okay? Like, you know the two, the mist form? It's going to be the soap form, okay? Because you're going to be cleaning the floor as you move to your team, okay? Now, someone said the Bard might be Thief, okay? I'm going to tell you why it's not. 100%, okay? Hey, Lexi. Sorry, you just, we're just going over I really appreciate the rail. Let me give you a shout out. Sorry, we're busy going through the blog post and then also the release. Okay, so we're just going over the Tide Pod Elite spec. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. And now, okay, on to the next one now. Someone thought the bod might be Thief. I'll tell you why it's not, okay? This here. You know why the bard isn't Thief? Do you know what this is here inside? This here is the initiative icon, okay? It is the initiative icon. It's basically Twisted Fate from League of Legends. We are basically going to be Twisted Fate. It's going to be great. We're going to love it. It's going to be a good time. Honestly, this could be a Mesmer as well. Mesmer getting an initiative confirmed. Yeah, Mesmer's not getting an initiative. I'm trying to think what the clone icons look like. Nah, it doesn't. I don't see it because they're circles. The only one that's a diamond is the Virtuoso. I would say yeah, Mesmer Initiative is just Vert. And I feel like they did that because they were too lazy to design more circles, so they just used the Thief. Mesmer's Bard guaranteed you replace clones with notes. Your shadows are songs and melodies. Trust. I could see that being the case. Now this one here, I'm gonna level with you guys. I think it's Ellie. I know we got the clean rotation on the Ellie. Okay, it's probably not. I feel like this one reminds me of Ellie or Ranger. Marksman class. How is this a marksman class? It looks like a gunslinger icon from like other games. A military symbol of a rank. Bro, that could be Guardian for all we know. It looks like anything, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, like it doesn't really say much. I think it's Ellie because of the 4 pillars. Okay, it kind of looks like fire, like a campfire. Okay, but I could also see it being Soul Beast, like a ranger thing, because it kind of looks like claws too. I don't know. This could be anyway. Nine Tails joke. I mean, I could see the Nine Tails. I could see it. I could see it. But then what class would that be for? Vampire Necro? I mean, Necro is Ritualist. Like, we went over it earlier, but... like... this year is gonna be Necro. Like, without a doubt. Necro is gonna be Ritualist. Like... You look at the elite specs, they're all Asura. For Necro, it's basically Ritualist at this point. It's not even really debatable. Yeah. Now I could go over the Chinese like leak, not leaks, but like the blog posts to be like, oh yeah, this is what we got, but it's time I take this off, okay? I'm sorry. I'll save it for when the next one comes out, okay? In a couple of hours. Can only use it for so long before it loses its strength. Make it bigger in a unicorn home? Okay, Sierra, I'll do it. Make a bicorn hat? Oh my... dude, you're gonna make this hard for me to do. Alright. I got Strike CMs actually like meta start now. I'm totally not late. But... I am pretty happy with the... I'll give my closing thoughts on the blog post. I think their direction is good. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say on top of it, but